In all honesty, I don't know why I'm playing. Same way you should have no business with investing if you've not mastered the act of savings. Most of you just move on vibes and inshallah. You don't know nothing about your own money. Bad. Too bad. One thing we should have learned about in school is money, but we did not. So we learned from the wrong places. So you have the online gurus telling you things like invest, compound, trade, but nobody's actually teaching you how to save your money. Something a mentor of mine told me is 1000% of zero is zero. And today, we're talking about 3 stages of wealth, and you are going to be figuring out the stage you are. There are 3 levels of wealth, and because nobody teaches us about this, we go about doing things the wrong way. And that is why you see somebody work for 5-10 years without any significant progress. Why? Because you don't know the level you're in, and also you don't know how to upscale to the next level. I'm going to give you the 3 levels of wealth. For some of you that said your attention span is so low, I'm going to give you 3 levels of wealth. Go do with that information what you want. But if you want to learn how to move from stage 1 to the next stage, stick around. Here are the 3 levels. We have wealth accumulation, wealth multiplication, and wealth preservation. If you already understand what I'm about to say, you can keep scrolling. If you want to learn how to move from one stage to the next level, stick around. Do well to give me a follow or subscribe depending on the platform you're watching me from, and drop a comment on the next topic you want me to talk about. Hi guys, my name is Director. Welcome to my channel. Here we discuss everything about finance, faith, and personal development. Because nobody teaches us about money, we tend to learn everything we know about money from either what people do or what we see on the internet. And that is why you see somebody who is earning 50,000 naira a month is already talking about forex trading. You see somebody who is working a 9 to 5 and they are saying, oh Director, I want to quit my job and focus on trading, or I want to quit my job and start investing in crypto. That is dumb. Today we're going to be discussing the level you're in and also how you can upscale from one level to the next. So let me break it down for you. Number 1, wealth accumulation. This is the most important phase in your wealth creation journey. If you just start your life, if you just maybe you've finished school and now you want to start earning, what you should be focusing on the first 2 years of your life should be dedicated to wealth accumulation. And what do I mean by wealth accumulation? You're working with your sweat. You're not looking for faster ways to make money. You're not looking for quicker ways. You're not looking for easier ways. You're looking for how to directly convert your energy, your sweat, your time to money. So I'm talking video editing. I'm talking copywriting. I'm talking learning a skill that you can directly sell the skill to someone and the person pays you in cash. I'm not saying, oh, go learn a skill like trading, which there are arguments around what that says, oh, maybe trading is not a skill, trading is gambling, or go learn a skill like Sportybet. All of that, if you cannot with zero, without anything, do that thing for somebody and they get you paid. Take for instance forex trading or crypto trading. You need money. You need to put in money first, then you expect money in return. Same thing as sports betting. You need to put in money first, then you expect money in return. You need to go master a skill that only takes your time and pay you in naira or in dollar, whichever one you want to earn, which is the phase of wealth accumulation. And if you've not mastered this stage, you have no business going to the next stage, which is wealth multiplication. How do you learn how to master this stage? How do you become a pro in this stage? One word: savings. While you are accumulating, as the word implies, accumulating, while you are accumulating those numbers, you need to be keeping as much of it as possible. For example, if you cannot comfortably put out 50,000 naira every month and not have any reason to go back to it, you have no business buying crypto. You have no business learning forex trading, for example. Yes, you have no business until you've comfortably learned how to keep money that you've made. Now you can now start going to the next stage. And trying to multiply money when you've not comfortably learned how to accumulate money is like you that is looking for a sure or a sure coin that you will buy with 10,000 naira and it becomes 1 million naira overnight. 1 out of every 100 chances you achieve that. That is why you see most young people, they keep making money but they don't know where the money is going. I'm going to be honest with you, I fell into this victim. I kept making money and I kept trying to double it in the crypto space. This was like in 2021. I was actively trying to double. I'm not even saying double. I was actively trying to multiply this money neglecting the systems I have built that keeps bringing this money. The systems were shaking, but because I had hope that one day one of my 50k is going to become 10 billion, or one of my 100k is going to become 100 million, I did not pay attention to systems that is supposed to accumulate more money for me. Investing should be something you put out. So that's why I said if you've not mastered in savings, you have no business with investing, because investing should be something you put out comfortably. Oh, I'm allocating X amount of money every week, I'm allocating X amount of money every month, so that the future is secured. Basically, investing is you planting now for the future. But most of you are planting now, and in the next minute you're checking your portfolio. If you hear that Bitcoin has lost $3,000, you that don't even have a Bitcoin is already crying. Why? Because you've staked more than you can afford to manage, because you don't have proper knowledge. And let me be honest with you, if you can't save 10,000 naira consistently, you're not going to be able to manage 100 million naira or 10 million naira whenever it comes. So to wrap it up, the first stage of wealth, which is wealth accumulation, is the phase where you're learning to exchange your sweat for money. It's not funny, trust me. It's not nice seeing that your peer groups are doing things, are trading, are doing sporty bet and whatever, but then you've learned the act of keeping your money. It's not glamorous, but then it's worth it, because what that does for you is building a foundation for you, and you're going to thank yourself for taking time to master these fees. So until you've mastered these fees, you have no business with fees too. And if you're somebody, you've built a system where you can look at your savings account and you see 2 million naira there comfortably, without having to, your system is running good and you still have at least $1 million in your savings account. Now we can get to phase 2. Now, welcome to phase 2, which is wealth multiplication. If you've learned how to keep money, now you need to start learning how to double those money you've kept aside. So a fraction of that money, listen to me, a fraction of that money you've kept aside is what you take to work for you in the future. Here is an example. Say you're keeping 50,000 naira every month, you're earning 300,000 naira monthly, and you can comfortably keep 50,000 naira and still have your system to work for you. You're still going to feed fine, you're still going to wear your clothes, you're still going to transport yourself to your work comfortably without any emergency coming up to eat from your savings, right? Now you can take, instead of putting out 50,000 naira every month, this is now where you can take out 20,000 naira and put into investing. So we're saying stocks, crypto, whichever work for you. I'm not saying go do any one. Please, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying go do any one, but whichever works for you, and you've taken time to study each of those assets or each of those commodities, and you say, okay, I believe, or I agree, or I accept how crypto moves. Now I want to invest in crypto. Fine and good. You can take 20 of that 30,000 naira. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times you get lucky. There are times you go all in. There are times you want to feed your, what they call your dopamine. There's this coin. There are those times. There are those times where you take those advantages. But trust me, if you don't have reserve, right now, I have a trade ongoing on I'm not going to mention name, but I have a trade ongoing. I can comfortably leave that trade has been ongoing for the past 3 months, and I'm not touching it, and I'm not going to touch it for the next 3 months. When I'm looking to even start talking about looking at that trade is like in January, and I can do that because I have a system that keeps bringing this money in, and I know how to keep the money. Then I know how to take a fraction of that money to sow seeds for the future. It's a system. Do you understand? And now, I'm not saying go use your maybe you saved your first million. I'm not saying go use your first million to buy real estate. The day I talk about this topic, I'm not saying go use your first million to go buy land. You have no business buying land. If you're still struggling to save $1 million, you have no business. I don't care what anybody has to say, but you have no business buying land. Take it from me. I'm getting too emotional, but let's come back to it. If you've comfortably learned how to save now, you have savings accounts that you can always fall back to, and you look at it and there's money in it, and there's a system that keeps bringing you in money, and your life is going well, you're not comfortable. Now you can start investing. You can invest in quick assets, whatever. You can invest in long-term assets. You can start buying dispatch bikes and put on the way. If that is a business you're interested in, I am not doing it, so I'm not telling you go do it. But if that's a business you're interested in, this is now the time you start sowing seeds. from the fractions. I'm not saying use your entire savings. Saving and investing are two different things. I'm not saying the money you're supposed to be saving, use it to be investing. No, still save while investing. Use a fraction of your savings to invest. In fact, if your income is now big enough, you can now make space for investing inside your income instead of making space inside your savings. So now your savings still remains 50,000 naira. So from your income, you have a portion for investing. This is now when you start learning about this asset, start putting your money there and let the money grow comfortably. So that means if you are still struggling to make 300, or I'm not using these numbers to say if you're not making 300,000 naira a month, that's not what I'm saying. You can be making 10,000 naira if that system works for you. But until you're comfortably making X amount of money and you're okay with putting out X amount of money, now you can say, okay, I want to put out, instead of keep saving, let me divide the saving and now put some into investing. So you learn about assets you want to invest in comfortably, and your life is not going to spoil. You're not going to be in anybody's comment section begging for money. Also, at stage 2, you can now start thinking things like content creation. Now, whatever you do that makes you money, you want to start teaching it to people. You can monetize it by maybe creating master classes. Basically, at stage 2, your time is no longer the only thing that pays you. Your wisdom can also pay you. Your experience can pay you. Your knowledge, the knowledge you've used in building businesses can also be impacted onto others, and they pay you. You can do master classes, you can do mentorship programs, whatever. At stage 2, you're making money from places other than just your sweat, and that is something you want. Welcome to stage 3. At this point, your system is already working. Trust me, at this stage, your system is working. You've built trust, because if at stage 2 you showed people what you can do and you shared your knowledge, people have trust you at this point. 1 or 2 persons have started earning because of you or because of something you put out. And yeah, life is good. Life is good. Now, this is now when you can start allocating money, huge chunk of money, into long-term assets. We're talking real estate. We're talking building businesses that takes time to grow. We're talking teaching communities, hosting events and all of those stuffs, building products that goes beyond you. In fact, if you no longer exist, those products can exist. One of them is going to be starting a YouTube channel, because if you can now comfortably feed yourself. One person that is doing this that I love so much is Kegan. Kegan took his time to build foundation. So when he came to content creation, he was not hungry. He didn't come here to start chasing brand deals and all of those things. And I sat with him early this year and I learned that a great deal from him. He has taken time to build systems. Right now, what he's doing online is him trying to give back to the community, and he has been doing that and is working. So at stage 3, you should be looking at real estate. You should be looking at setting up businesses that can go to the future, basically. What I'm trying to achieve with this video is, most of you are on stage 1 and you're gambling your life away. You can't comfortably brag of 500,000 naira. You can comfortably brag of 500,000 naira this month, but it's not consistent until you've comfortably build a system that consistently make X amount of money every other month. You should not get into the next phase until you are well grounded in phase 1, right? And don't spend too much time in phase 1. When you've achieved phase 1, always be able or always be cautious enough to move to the next phase, because if you spend too much time in one phase without moving to the next phase, you can develop things like imposter syndrome, which is not so much a bad thing, but that's not our topic for today. Understand that you need time to first build before you grow, then before you maintain or sustain. That's basically what I'm discussing today. You need time to do what? Build, grow, then you maintain. Imagine trying to grow without building. You're literally building on zero. You're literally gambling to make 1000% of zero. Your building phase is not solid enough, and you want to multiply or you want to grow. You're just going to be multiplying on a very shallow foundation and small thing. That's why you see people that they win bets. Oh, I just won 5 million naira from this betting, and meet them 1 year later, their life is nothing to write home about. Why? Because there's no solid foundation. So until you've built a foundation, a solid foundation, you have no business trying to knock zinc or do plastering. You have no business counting how many blocks will do 5-bedroom if you don't even have a strong foundation. Because here's what happens: when the breeze blows on a shallow foundation, your building is down. I believe this video has been able to help you. This is something I wish I knew 5-7 years ago, because there were some mistakes I made 5-7 years ago. Videos like this would have helped me not to make, and I believe this have taught one person. If you're watching me right now and you are at the point where you're thinking, oh, what should I do with my life? What should I do with my time? There are 3 levels to it: wealth accumulation, wealth multiplication, and wealth preservation. I hope this video has been able to help you. Do well to click on the follow button. See you next week. Thank you.